Hi Libra, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your March 2021 full moon reading for you. Now, I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and also to subscribe to my channel. And if you would like to be notified whenever I upload new videos, and I upload all the time, just hit the bell notification button. And if you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will be listed and linked in the description box below. Now, before we begin this reading and clear the energy space, once again, a reminder not to be scammed by anybody in the comment box pretending to be me offering you a reading. This person is not me. They are a scammer. Do not be scammed. I will not be soliciting you for anything. With that said, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds. Letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. All right. Let's let the bowl sing as we see what the tarot has to say. How will Libra be affected by the March 2021 full moon? How will Libra be affected by the March 2021 full moon? How will Libra be affected by the March 2021 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Fantastic. And let's see what your chakra energy will be for this time. How will Libra be affected by the March 2021 full moon? How will Libra be affected by the March 2021 full moon? How will Libra be affected by the March 2021 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading. Ooh, okay. And the spirit guide message. How will Libra be affected by the March 2021 full moon? How will Libra be affected by the March 2021 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels. Fantastic. Okay. So we're going to see how the tarot correlates to what the moon has to say, which we have set up right here, the chakra energy, the spirit animal energy, and the spirit guide message. Now, this is going to be, just right off the bat, this is going to be a very powerful moon for you, the moon on the 28th of March, because it is a full moon in Libra. And that is just going to call to you instantly, Okay, Libra? And here we also have it being the sun being in Aries, which is parallel or the polarizing sign to Libra. So we have that polarizing energy coming back. So this can be a very intense time. We can find this to be a very, not a challenging time, but a time that makes us step out of our comfort zone in a very real way. All right, so let's see what the cards, of course, have to say. The left-hand side is the inner self. The middle is the heart, the emotional self. The right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. So we start off with the Queen of Pentacles, Earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. We have the Moon. So there's a big connection to this moon and our financial well-being, but also our sense of prosperity. We have the Page of Cups, which is air sign energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, and of course the next full moon on the 27th of April is in Scorpio. Also the new moon is in Aries, so this even more pulls us in that Aries direction, in that Aries intensity. Then we have the Six of Pentacles, which is my minor arcana justice card, and that's representative of you, Libra, in the major arcana. So here there's the essence of you coming through in the minor arcana. We have the Hierophant, which is Taurus energy. Time frame is April 20th to May 20th. Okay, amplified by the fact that we're also crowned by the Queen of Pentacles, so that Taurus energy is going to be very important. We have the Nine of Cups, a wish being granted. The Nine of Pentacles, prosperity being celebrated. The repeat of the number 9 shows that we're coming very close to a completion of a cycle. The Four of Swords, honoring what we have been through in the past. The Four of Wands, celebration, happiness, joy, success. The Empress, okay, which is a very powerful card here, especially with the Aries energy that's all around the Aries. Aries is, of course, represented by the Emperor in the major arcana. So the Empress coming in is that feminine balancing energy to the masculine energy of the Emperor. We have the Queen of Wands, enhancing and playing towards the Aries energy, because, of course, the Wands represent Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. And then we have the Death card, which is strong Scorpio energy, again linking us to the full moon in Scorpio on the 27th of April. Okay, so it's a super powerful time for us, which is really quite extraordinary. So during this moon, during the full moons, we're always told to surrender to the divine, because it brings us our power. This is a time where we look at things, there's kind of like a little bit of a spotlight shown on us, and we're seeing things more clearly, more truthfully, more honestly. And this full moon has a lot to offer, has a lot to bring. It brings a lot of intensity because of the astrological location of it. At this time of the full moon, Venus, the Sun, and Chiron are all aligned. And Chiron is, of course, known as the wounded warrior. So here we're seeing the wounds from the past highlighted by the Sun and by the embodiment of Venus through the healing energy of Chiron. So it's like the embodiment of Venus to love, to heal, to be, helps amplify the wounded warrior, or helps purge the wounded warrior, helps, heal the wounds of the past and have us moving forward towards the power of the present. This is a time where we want to just do. It's like, okay, I don't want to be too much in my own head. I need to just do. And this is amplified by Mercury and Neptune in Pisces, which is saying, get out of your own head, forgive, and let's heal ancestral hurts. Let's heal all the things ancestrally, past lifely, that are holding us back, that are keeping us from where it is that we want to be. Now, the full moon in Libra says a win-win outcome is forecast. Why? Because we're balancing things. Because we're seeing ourselves take hold of what needs to be taken hold of. And this kind of at times goes against the Libra mentality of love and balance, and I can do everything for everybody else, and I'll forget about myself at times. So here we're being told, especially with the Aries energy coming through so powerfully, it's like, I can't forget about me. I might want to sacrifice myself in order to help everybody else, but I can't. And this is a time where we start to see ourselves aligned with resolving conflict. Because, of course, Libra is ruled by Venus, and Venus is aligned with Aries during this time, aligned with the Sun in Aries. So we start to see things really becoming intense, and we start to see the fact that, in Greek mythology, Aries and Venus, Aphrodite, were lovers. So there's this great call to the passions of war and the passions of human attraction, okay, of love. So it's kind of like hate and love kind of come together to make this whirlwind within us. It's a very passionate time. It's a very distinct time for us, and it's a very big time where we start to see ourselves saying, okay, what is it that I want? Where is it that I want to be? And yes, we ask ourselves that before, but this is a time where the moon makes a perfect triangle with Saturn and Mars, which is called the Grand Trine. And this brings great protection, harmony, and ease to our lives. So even though we're really tackling the big issues during this time, we're kind of under a lucky star, which is really quite beautiful. And because both Mars and Saturn are intense planets, they give us determination, motivation, and staying power, which is really quite beautiful. Because for Libra, it's hard sometimes to stay true to ourselves without saying, okay, well, to keep the peace, I'll just kind of swallow my words, or, oh, to keep the peace, I'll just kind of do what other people want me to do, or, it's okay, it doesn't really matter as much to me as it does to this person. And this is a time where we start to stand our ground and say, yeah, no, you know what? This matters. This is powerful. My life is powerful, and I'm moving forward in a balance of self. Now, during this time, we're going to see that Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn are the most affected by this moon because of the moon's alignment. So if you have, of course, we're talking about you, Libra, here right now, so that's a main one. But if you have Aries or Cancer or Capricorn within your chart, those parts of your personality are going to be coming out with intensity, okay? It leads us to the new moon in Aries. And the new moon says a new start is coming and to embrace beginnings. And this is really kind of revving us forward. We're doing our healing. We're seeing things more openly, more honestly, more intensely. And it says here, it's time to take action. And that's what we're going to want to do. This new moon, this time of beginnings, it's like I'm done being sedentary. I'm done waiting for things to happen. Now it's time for me to take the bull by the horns and go after what I want. And we might not actually be sedentary people. We might be judging ourselves a bit harshly, but there's a sense of power, of determination, of focus, of insight. And it brings us to the full moon in Scorpio. And it says here, it's time to release negativity. So all the healing that we're doing, all the kind of battles that we are fighting, all the ways that we are moving forward is moving us to this point of purging the poison from ourselves. And we might very well find that we have revelations happening during this time that change the way we see really fundamental things to us. Change the way we see a person who has scarred us and wronged us. And change the way that we see ourselves and our abilities and our own bravery. And it moves us to our spirit animal message, which our spirit animal message for, well, not message, but our spirit animals for March are the wolf spirit and the whale spirit. And I know we're only in March for a little bit during this time, but the wolf spirit says, turn knowledge into wisdom. And the whale spirit says, trust the great mysteries. So we're not supposed to know everything. And the knowledge that we are accumulating becomes the wisdom for which we live by. And the whale spirit is really cool because it is the record keeper of the earth. And it's telling us, it represents the record keeper of the earth, which I always think is so terribly beautiful. And it leads us to listen to our inner voices, but also listen to kind of the energy vibration of who we are and where we want to be and how we want to move forward and what it is that we desire. And it connects us with our power and our emotions. Now, the wolf spirit, as we turn knowledge into wisdom, sharpens our intellect and deepens our connection with ourselves, what we want, with our desire for freedom, and our instinctual self. And as this power comes forward, and as we start to kind of question things and see things more clearly, we start to connect with others by connecting with our own place within the world. And at times that can seem a bit like, but I don't want this to be my place. Like, this is not my end story. This isn't what I want. I want more. I want more power. I want more insight. I want more to this than what others offer. And so here we might be very aware of our place, but also at the fact that we're not happy with that place, or that place is changing, or our contentment within the life that we have built. It depends where we are in our journey. Now, in April, we keep the wolf spirit. So we keep this knowledge, we keep this, seeking, this becoming, this freedom loving, this sharp mind, and this sense of carving out our space within our lives. But the hawk spirit says, let spirit be our guide. So as spirit is guiding us, we're going to find that because the hawk spirit is the messenger of the spirit world, we're going to find that we're getting messages from our spirit guides, from the spirit world, in a very powerful and beautiful way. It enhances our power, it enhances our focus, it gives us clear vision, and it increases our spiritual awareness with what we want, with where we're headed, with what we're seeking. So it's just a time where, like, if you see a hawk flying in the sky, just think about what you're thinking about, which sounds funny, but focus on where you are at that exact moment in your life. Focus on what you're discovering about yourself, because there's going to be a message from spirit brought to you, and it's going to be handed in the most astounding way. All right. And then we have, for the chakra message, we have balance. And this is the root chakra. And Libra, what are you all about? You're represented in the major arcana, okay, well, in the zodiac, by the scales, right? And we see justice holding scales in the major arcana. So here, there is this great sense of balance, of justice, of harmony, of understanding coming forward. Now, this is the yin and the yang, the masculine and the feminine, the sacred masculine, the sacred feminine, coming together, giving us insight, giving us ideas, pushing us forward, having us look at things in a very different, very powerful, very purposeful light. And so that our root chakra is saying, am I in balance with myself? Am I where I want to be? What do I need to do to obtain these goals? Are they obtainable now, or do I need to kind of have a 10-year plan? What's going on here? And it leads us, to our spirit guide message, which here is spiritual. It's connecting with the spiritual. It's connecting with the beautiful. It's connecting with things that maybe people sit there and poo-poo and say, oh, that's silly. Why aren't you focusing on the really big problems? And it's like, what is more important in this world than focusing on myself? And I don't mean that in a narcissistic way. I mean that very much, and spirit means that very much, in a way where if I understand me, if I understand my failures and I understand my blessings, and if I know what I long for, and I seek for balance within myself, then I'm seeking for balance, a bit of harmony within the world, within one person. And I can share that harmony with the people that I come in contact with the energies that are around me. And that becomes something that's really rather beautiful. If you ever meet somebody who's spiritually just in line with themselves, who isn't living in their ego, who isn't, so worried about what other people think of them. I mean, I have trouble with that. Oh, am I making a fool out of myself? Am I doing this correctly? Like, what is everybody going to think? What does it matter? What does it matter what everybody else thinks? If we hold ourselves in high esteem and we embrace what we love and who we are, and we move kindly and gently on this earth, what does it matter? It leads us to the Queen of Pentacles. And the Queen of Pentacles is prosperity. The Queen of Pentacles is looking at the seeds that we are planting, looking at the bounty that we want, looking at the passion that we have, and saying, there is more here than meets the eye. There is more here than I can ever know, than I can ever realize. But I'm letting it grow. I'm letting it become, and I'm discovering so much more than what I realize I ever wanted. And it leads us to this place of determination, this place of really looking at the earthly world and saying, all right, this is what's important. This is what is needed. This is what I desire. This is what I'm looking at. This is what I'm going after. And we focus ourselves in such a way that we start to open up doors. We start to, push forward in more of a kind of go get it mentality. And it's looking at what we're planting within our hearts. And it sounds odd because this moon is making us look at what it is that is taking root within us, what it is that we need to balance our lives, but also strengthen our conviction, desire, like embrace our desires. And it brings us to this place of prosperity because it makes us see the prosperity within ourselves that we hadn't seen before. Because it's almost like putting a sword into the fire, right? Or putting metal into the fire and heating it up. If you were just an outsider looking and you were like, why would you do that? Why would you heat up the metal so that you can't touch it? Because you're going to shape it, because it's going to be pounded. And that's what this moon is doing for us. It is giving us these pieces of desire. It's giving us our love and our balance and our harmony. And because it's in Aries, it's being put into that oven to be baked and to be heated, to be forged. And it's being pounded out by the warrior. So we have the lover and we have the warrior coming together. And there's this beautiful dance that they're doing, but there's this beautiful attraction and there's this beautiful passion. And it's helping us in our inner selves embrace our prosperity, embrace our bounty, push our limits, move forward in what we desire. And it brings us to really connecting with this moon. Now, of course, the moon represents Pisces energy. February 19th to March 20th is the time frame. But there is a sense here of this moon really giving us prosperity in a way that we weren't expecting. It's opening up a door that we thought was barred to us, or that we didn't think we had the right to walk through. And it's like, oh yes, I do. We're going to see opportunities start to come. We're going to see desire start to move us forward. We're going to see passion start to guide us. We're going to see focus really coming in. And it's going to be lighting our way in a way that we don't anticipate. And it's going to be a surprise. This moon is going to take us by surprise. And the interesting thing is, of course, the moon reflects the sun's light. So we're a reflection here of the energy of shooting forward, of determination, of fighting, of going after what we want. But because it's tempered by Libra, okay, there's this sense of friendliness and politeness to this moon that has us more willing to compromise, more willing to find balance and understanding, more willing to move towards what we desire and what we want and where we want to be. And this is going to be a time for us to reflect and say, well, how is it that I want to move forward? What is it that I desire? What is it that I'm wanting? What is it that I'm seeking? And it leads us to the Page of Cups. It leads us to being a student of our hearts. It leads us to looking within ourselves and seeing things in a very different way, in a very honest way. The Page of Cups says, what is it that I want? And because we are a student, we're not, well, we can be looking at everybody else. Because if you think of the time, when we were in school, you kind of look at everybody else and say like, oh, is everybody else doing this? Like, should I be doing this? We're going to see ourselves kind of asking those questions, like, what is everybody else doing? And I feel that very, very strongly from this moon. We're going to find, like, we want to keep the peace. We want everything to be emotionally connected and beautiful. And beauty is going to be just such a driving force for us during this moon. So we're going to be looking at it and questioning things and saying, ooh, should I, could I, would I, do I want to? And then all of a sudden, there's going to be this time where we start getting inspiration from the most unlikely of places. We start listening to our inner selves. We start listening to our inner desires. We start looking at things differently and openly and honestly for us. And it becomes a game changer. And we're like, oh, that's what I wanted. Like, that's the piece of the puzzle that was missing. And it brings us to falling into balance and demanding balance. So we're falling into balance with ourselves. And as we fall into balance with ourselves, we're demanding balance from the rest of the world. Not in that way that, like, you have to do what I say or else, but in that way of, no, I'm not going to put up with that. It's like, no, you don't get to treat me that way, or no, speaking to me like that isn't appropriate and isn't, warranted, and I'm not going to put up with it. So the Six of Pentacles is this sense of balanced understanding. And it is the sense of give and take. We're no longer going to be giving and giving and giving, and also we're not going to be taking and taking and taking. We're going to be finding that balance. And that balance in relationships is going to be so important. So have you ever been in those relationships with people where it always feels like they just have one up on you? These are going to be times where those type of relationships, they're balanced. But even the relationships where it feels like, oh my gosh, I'm always helping this person out, or I'm always doing this, we're going to see that we start to balance it. And it's not because things just magically start to change. It's because we're starting to change. We're starting to say no, and we're starting to say yes. We're starting to look at things more intricately, more powerfully, more introspectively, more personally. And we're saying, this is right and this isn't. This is where I want to be, and this isn't where I want to be. And it leads us to being crowned by the Hierophant in our hearts. So the Hierophant is the Pope in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. And the Pope in medieval times could tell kings, queens, emperors, empresses what to do, and they listened. The Pope was the ultimate voice. And so here, it's like our ultimate voice is speaking. It's like, this is who I am. This is what I need in my life to flourish and to shine. This is what I desire to embrace my goals and to go after what I want. This is me, honestly and truthfully. And we're going to find that we can't go against this intrinsic part of ourselves. Well, we can, but it gets hard. It gets hard, it gets overwhelming. And so there is a sense here of really looking at the greater desires, the greater hopes, the greater wants of our world, but also our greater fears. And are we letting those fears define us? Are we letting those fears hold us back? And this is a time where we start to be our hearts are going to start to be very stubborn. And Libra, you're not shy at all to having a stubborn heart, but there is a sense here of like, no, I'm not compromising on this, because we're the queen of compromise, right? Or the king of compromise, or whatever ruler you want to be. And there's a sense here of determination and focus, and like, this is what I want, this is where I'm headed, this is what I need, and I don't want to let it go. And so our hearts really start to speak to us. And it's going to be our job during this time to listen. And it brings us to the Nine of Cups. There's a wish being granted. There's beauty coming in. Now, is this going to be easy for us to see? No, it's not. People are going to see it within us. And they're not going to understand our timidity. They're not going to understand our questioning. They're not going to understand how overwhelmed we can be at times. So there is a sense here with the Nine of Cups, of just the beauty being around us that we ourselves are not aware of. And so this beauty starts to define us in certain ways, but it also starts to define how other people see us and how we are moving towards our goals, what we want, what we long for, what we're figuring out. And so it leads us to a place where, as we're figuring this out and as we have the stubbornness come, the Nine of Pentacles comes in, and it's like, this is my prosperity. And all of a sudden, it's like, you have to celebrate this. And even if, oh, excuse me, I'm so sorry. Even if we're, oh, I don't want to sneeze. Okay. Even if we're not exactly where we want to be at the exact right moment, there's a part of us that is saying, enjoy where we are now, or enjoy what we are heading towards, what we are creating now, because it is so important. There is such power here. There is such intensity here. There is such beauty here. Look at it. Take it in. And as we take it in, there's a part of us that wants to say, but it's all going to crumble apart. It's all going to fail. It's fallen apart before, and it will fall apart again. That can be true. Life is about things that we cannot, and would not even imagine being able to plan for. But when we look at our lives, and we have our disappointments, which every single one of us has, it's not defining our whole entire lives by our disappointments, by our angers, by our upsets, by our upheavals. It's looking at things and saying, there's more here. There's tremendous learning here. I might not have done things in the time frame I thought I was going to do things in, or I might not be at the place I thought I was going to be at. But look how far I've come. Look how much I've discovered. look how much has shaped me and formed me and blessed me in one way or another. Because even our hardest moments give us our deepest blessings. And there are times where, yes, we have those years where we cry ourselves to sleep every night. We have those years where we feel lost and overwhelmed and in despair. But as time moves forward, we can start to see the strength that came from that, the knowledge that came from that, the determination that came from that. And it moves us in the public arena in a very real way, because our hearts are starting to see that we're stronger than we thought we were. We were forged more greatly than we realized. And it brings us in the public arena to the Four of Wands, to the place of dreams and happily ever afters and desires and hopes and truths. And the Four of Wands is being able to celebrate. Now, in the public arena, we might be looking for change, because the Four of Wands can also bring change, foundational change, like a change in jobs, a moving of house, things like this. But the Four of Wands brings with us this beautiful sense of celebration, prosperity, bounty, determination, insight, focus. It's like, this is me, world, and I get to celebrate me. This is what I desire, world, and I get to be that desire. I get to have that desire. I get to live this dream. And there's a shift during this time. And it's like, don't miss it, because it can be very small. But it's like, there gets to be beauty here. There gets to be joy. There gets to be laughter. There gets to be love and brilliance. And it moves us to the Empress, to the voice that was lost, to the throne that was overlooked, to the sense here of power and determination and focus and might and insight and brilliance. The Empress plays off of the Emperor's strength. And again, just like Venus is the lover of Aries, right? Aphrodite was the lover of Aries. Well, the Empress is the lover of the Emperor. There's a sense of falling in love with this time. So as much as it can be a pain in the tush, as much as it can be overwhelming, as much as it can be, more than we bargained for, it's also going to be brilliant. It's also going to be us unlocking a part of ourselves that is fierce and powerful and forceful and just so much more than what we ever could have thought of. And there is a sense of focus here. There's a sense of, yes, I can. And I have linked in the description box below the, I think it's called the Perfect Mind, or the thunder of the perfect mind. I don't know, but it's down there. And it's this beautiful piece from Gnostic text that was done by a fashion designer. I don't know why they did it, but it's just absolutely exquisite and just very, very beautiful. And I keep on seeing that. It's like I'm the bride and the bridegroom. I am I'm the happiness and I'm the joy, and I'm all the contradictions that the world has to offer. I'm the rich and I am the poor. I'm the bride and I'm the widow. We're looking at our world and we're going to see these contradictions, but we're going to see these heartfelt truths. And in a sense, we're going to be looking down the line and into ourselves in a way that we didn't know we could. And down the line means like little glimpses of the future, little glimpses of maybe even possible futures, and a sense of where we are now, of what we desire, of what we want. And it's shaping our public arena, because it's like, well, no, there's more here. There's more to the story than you could possibly know. And I'm going to be moving forward in that more. And it brings us then to the Queen of Wands, to fire, to passion, to determination, to not being afraid of rolling up our sleeves, going after what we want, drawing the line in the sand and saying, this is what I desire. This is what I need. This is who I am. And there's a sense here of very much not needing the recognition, because I always think of this goddess as linked to, of this queen as linked to the goddess Hestia in Greek mythology. She didn't need the recognition. All right? She needed the peace. She needed the harmony. And with that came more recognition, more understanding than she could ever have known. And so that's a part of us during this time. It's like this sense of, this is my power, this is my wisdom, this is my truth, this is what I desire from my life. But this is the fire that burns inside of me. And if I put out that fire, I put out a huge part of myself. And so here we find ourselves in the public arena. It can be kind of paying more attention to hobbies than work, which doesn't necessarily have to be the case, but for some it is going to be, where it's like, I need to let my heart shine. I need to let my creativity shine. I need to let my passion shine. And it doesn't mean that we need to be noticed by everybody, because we have the Empress and the Queen of Pentacles and the Queen of Wands, so we don't need to be noticed by everybody. It's enough for us to be noticed by ourselves. And there's a sense here then of claiming greater power, greater determination, greater purpose. And the Death card shows a dying away of the old self, a rebirth of the new. The Death card shows that who we once were is moving away to make room for who we are now. And what that means is that we're transforming, as all human beings transform. And the person that we were, for some of us a year ago is not the person we are today. The person that we were 5 years ago is not the person we are today. And sometimes that can be sad, but sometimes that is beautiful. There's a determination, even in the greatest sorrow, even in moments of life where you're looking at things and it's like, wow, 5 years ago I was so happy, or 3 years ago I was so happy, and now I am so overwhelmed and I'm so, not in the place I ever thought I would be. The Death card tells us there will be a rebirth once again, but the lessons have to be learned. And the self that we are now will at one point crumble away to make room for a new self. So whether we're in a blissful moment in our lives, whether we're in an okay moment or a not good moment, there is change, there is transformation, and life is always going to be about that change, about that transformation, about that greater insight, about that, striving forward. And this moon shows it for us. It shows that beautiful, passionate dance between what we war with and what we love and where we want to be and how we want to move forward and, all the things that we desire. Let's see. Let's see what Luna has to say for herself. How will Libra be affected by the March 2021 full moon? How will Libra be affected by the March 2021 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Ooh, okay. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Okay, there we go. How will Libra be affected by the March 2021 full moon? How will Libra be affected by the March 2021 full moon? How will Libra be affected by the March 2021 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading. And show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides, angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Okay. We have fruition, blossoming, trust. Extremes, this is a time of extremes. Adjustments are required. Show the world the real you. I like that. Look at the bigger picture. Energy is gaining momentum. Luck is on your side. You have the Sagittarius full moon and Sagittarius new moon. So Sagittarius energy is quite powerful here. Okay. So we're starting off with fruition. What we focus on comes to fruition. And we are blossoming into what we think, what we desire, what we are manifesting within our minds. Okay, the pathways that we are paving within our own thoughts. And we have to trust. We have to trust the guidance of divinity. We have to trust the passion of ourselves, the way that we want to move forward, what it is that we're looking for, what it is that we want. There's a sense here of kind of like stepping back and saying, I'm not in the driver's seat, I'm going to let things kind of develop as they may. And we embrace extremes at this time. So we have the extremes. We have the extremes of the full moon in Libra, of the sun in Aries. We have the extremes of doing and balancing and harmonizing. And it's like, okay, our hearts are going to be pulled two ways, and adjustments are going to be required. We're going to start to look at things differently, and kind of the impossible things start to make a little bit of sense, start to become a bit possible, because we're making these adjustments and we're showing the world the real us. We're showing the world what we truly want, what we truly desire, where we truly want to be. And it brings us to looking at the bigger picture, to taking aim, to focusing on something bigger than what we had originally thought we would be focusing on. And as we focus on that, the energies gain momentum. We start to gain momentum. We're like, oh, there's like a light bulb moment. Things start to make more sense. And luck is on our side. Luck guides us. Luck moves us. Luck, becomes a part of us during this time. And we have that within the heart. We can see that with the Nine of Cups. There is a sense of wishes coming true, of luck being on our side. Nine of Pentacles, hard work paying off. A celebration of like, this is what I've achieved coming forward. And it really is beautiful. So let's look at the subconscious. Well, let's look at the subconscious Luna message. So we have here boundaries. Boundaries are going to be so important. Spirit said this earlier, where saying, this is my line in the sand. This is what I won't cross, and this is where others can't cross. And so we see that also with the Six of Pentacles. Boundaries are going to be so important. And the moon is saying here, focus on those boundaries, focus on making clear and defined statements about things, and then it brings us to the void of course. Nothing will come of this. So there's a bit of fatalism within our inner selves, saying nothing's going to come of this situation, because what we have originally envisioned isn't going to exactly be the way that things move forward during this time. And we have to be kind of ready for things to kind of twist and turn and loop-de-loop. It brings us then to the subconscious chakra message, which is trust. And again, it is the scales this is truth. This is the scales being balanced. We have to, with our throat chakra, embrace the truth that we are speaking, embrace the truth that we want within this world, embrace our passion, our power, our understanding, but to speak our truth and to let that balance us in a very real way. It leads us to our subconscious spirit guide message, which is balance. It's all about balance. We have balance here. We have balance with Libra, just simply Libra, with the Libra full moon, with the trust, with the scales coming forward, showing us, ooh, I can't do that. My arm doesn't move that way. The trust that is required to balance everything. And then we have balance coming forward with from the spirit guides, from spirit. It's like things need to be balanced. Things need to be in harmony. And we need to start seeing where things are out of harmony and how we can bring that harmony back. It leads us then to our subconscious tarot message, which is the Six of Cups. And the Six of Cups is knowing that the past is done. We can't relive it. We can't walk backwards. And also looking at the hurts and the fears from the past. And understanding that though they've had their place in our lives, they don't get to define our lives anymore. All right, Libra. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I am sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation. a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we find the balance we so want. To have that fiery passion of the warrior come forward, and the beautiful lover of Venus, the warrior of Aries, and the lover of Venus guide us to success. Kind of like the ultimate power couple. And it's beauty and it's success and it's determination. So let's take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Libra, and may you have a blessed moon.